Hey y'all, it is Molly Rose and welcome back to the YouTube channel. All right, y'all, so I sticker bombed one of my bass drum heads, and what that is I basically took 200 stickers and I covered my bass drum head with it. It actually is the bass drum head I have right behind it. And I posted the video on the internet, and the internet had a lot of opinions, a lot of love, and a lot of hate. So obviously, because it got a lot of hate, we're gonna be doing it again. On camera this time, full vlog moment. I grabbed a 200 pack of stickers off of Amazon, and today we are going with an all purple vibe to match my purple Mapex Armory kit. And stick around because at the end we are going to be doing a before and an after sound test. So it'll be what the kick drum sounds with no stickers and what the kick drum sounds with stickers, because a lot of people had a lot of opinions about what it sounded like without stickers and what it sounded like with stickers. So let's get into this video. And while I throw on these stickers, I asked my socials to send me some questions. So we're going to be doing a little Q&A while I put all of the stickers on my bass drum. So let's do this. While I put stickers on this head, we're going to do the mini Q&A. Question number 1, are you a vegetarian? I am not a vegetarian. I've never been vegetarian, vegan, or anything like that. I do like vegetarian options. Like a lot of times if I go, have Thai food or Chinese food, I'll do, tofu or something like that. But I do love meat. Do you work out outside of drumming? If so, what do you do? Yeah, I guess drumming is a workout if you think about it. But yes, I do work out. I love going to the gym. I feel like it's really good for my mental health. Also, I've always been kind of on the leaner side, and I've never had muscle. So I'm kind of trying to build muscle now, and actually going back to the meat thing, eating more protein and stuff. So yeah, I do like a lot of, full body workouts, a lot of, arms and legs, and I am getting a little bit of muscle. So we are very happy about that. Dream truck. Oh my gosh. Probably would have to be a Ford F-250, like a Black Widow, or probably a Ford from the 70s or 80s would be incredible. Cybertruck, love or hate? I do like me a Cybertruck. They kind of look like a spaceship. I've never driven a Cybertruck, been in a Cybertruck, so I feel like I would probably never own a Cybertruck. Also, just like electric cars, that's not really my thing. But you know what? They look pretty cool. I don't know. It's kind of a vibe. Do you teach drum lessons, or do you ever plan on teaching drum lessons? I have taught drum lessons in the past. I don't think that teacher is really for me. Some people are just great teachers, and I've had some incredible teachers in my life, but teaching has never been something that I've been really passionate about. But I do think that if I ever did teach, I would want to be like a college music professor or something like that, like maybe go back and get my master's and do something with older kids. I think I would thrive more in that kind of setting. What is your favorite pew pew? Man, I gotta go with a 1911. They are classic. They are timeless. I love the trigger. I love the hammer style. I don't think you can go wrong with a 1911. Favorite place you have played in Nashville? What's crazy is I actually don't play in Nashville too much. Most of the gigs that I play in Nashville is if I play downtown, which none of the bars downtown are my favorite, or if I play like a whiskey jam or, some type of artist showcase, which is only a few songs, or, one of the smaller venues in Nashville. So I would say the biggest show I've played in Nashville was probably at the Municipal, and I've played at the Municipal actually a couple times because I filmed that TV show there. And a lot of my friends and family got to come. So probably the times I've played at the Municipal have been my favorite. Favorite venue you've played outside of Nashville? Man, definitely would have to be the O2 Arena in London when I played that in, I think 2025, I played there. Yeah, I would say really any of the arenas I've played have been extremely cool. All of the smaller venues kind of just start to look alike, and honestly, I forget a lot of the places that we play at. But yeah, definitely the O2 Arena. Tips on how to find bigger gigs besides networking. That is a very tough question because honestly, I don't really know how to answer that because I feel like that's something I am still trying to, I still try and figure out. I mean, Nashville is really, I mean, I'm being so dead honest and genuine when I say this. It's really about who you know. Like, that's really what it is. It's your friends are helping you get gigs. You're helping your friends get gigs. It's about who you know. I mean, for me personally, I'm like pretty antisocial. So I feel like for me, I, post a lot on social media and I try to be really active and I try and kind of make content so that maybe I can get my face in front of other people. Besides networking, yeah, maybe kind of trying out social media. There's a lot of like Facebook musician groups, but honestly, that's a tough question. Dream artist you want to play for. I like this question because my answer to this has changed. I used to be all about, my mindset was I want to play for an artist, and I've already done that. I've played for artists that I have been very lucky, and I've played for artists that I looked up to. And I think after playing for artists, I've realized that I would much rather like to be a part of a band, kind of something like, Zach Brown Band, Treaty Oak Revival, Muscadine Bloodline, something more in that kind of country realm, Flatland Cavalry. That's not my dream. My dream is not to play for an artist anymore. It's definitely to play for more of a band. I would love to have a say in, the show, have a say in the music that we play, and not just be given like a drum part that somebody played in the studio and then just recreate it. It's not my dream anymore. So yeah, I would say definitely any country leaning band I would absolutely die to be a part of. Who's your favorite artist? I'll give you guys a couple of them. Obviously, I'm a big Swiftie, more on kind of like the folk more, evermore, the more singer-songwriter side than kind of like the pop heavy stuff. I really love, songwriting, and I think her songwriting is brilliant and genius, and I love it. I love Brooks and Dunn, one of my favorite duos of all time. George Strait, I love his songs, incredible songs. Tim McGraw, all that kind of like early 90s stuff, I really soak up and I love. Also, Lana Del Rey, talking about songwriting. Her songwriting is incredible, more on the poetic side. Oh, there's a lot of artists that I like. I really feel like it kind of depends on like what season of my life I'm in. Like, I really have been liking Gracie Abrams at the moment. I really love her songwriting. I just love songwriting. I'm definitely more into like the songwriting than anything else, really. Why do you stick to country? I actually don't really stick to country. I play all different types of things. I play a lot less country than I would like. I would say probably 80% of the stuff that I play is more on the rock leaning stuff, just because that's what people hire me for. I don't know. That's just what I get hired to do a lot, is kind of the more rock stuff. But I love country. It's my favorite kind of music. It's what I grew up on. It's what makes me feel something. It's all about how music makes you feel, and country music just makes me feel something than any other type of music. So yeah. Piggybacking off of that question, would you ever play rock or metal? Well, I do play a lot of rock, and metal, probably not really. Metal music is loud, kind of hurts my ears a little bit. I'm not a big fan of metal music, so no, probably not. And I wouldn't be good at it because I'm not that great at the double bass either. Piggybacking off that again, do you like rock or metal? If so, which bands? Okay, so like in middle school, I would listen to like a little bit of System of a Down, A Day to Remember, kind of stuff like that. I remember one of my best friends, she would listen to that kind of stuff. So I kind of got into it and I liked drumming along to that stuff like back then. But now, no, I don't listen to any metal. I couldn't name you any metal. I've tried and it literally hurts my head. Like it gives me a headache. And rock, I mean, I like, I don't know how quote unquote rock this would be, but I like Journey and like Steven Tyler. You know, I like some of that stuff a little bit in moderation. But again, it's not for me. Dad rock, not for me. 80s, 90s rock, not for me. Just not a big fan of it or the lifestyle. Advice for moving to Nashville. Best way to do it. I mean, I think it's like anything, you just have to do it. You know what I mean? If you want to move to Nashville, I will say it is becoming more and more like LA every day. It's becoming, since I've lived here, it's becoming more dangerous for one thing. It's becoming definitely more overcrowded. I mean, even in the years I've been here, I've been noticing I've been getting less and less gigs because just so many people are moving here. So I mean, you're going to have to grind. You're going to have to put, nose to the grindstone and grind it out. You're going to have to network your little butt off, maybe get another job during the winter time, slow season. You're not going to be making any money, but you can do it. You can do it. I mean, people move here every single day. So my advice is just do it. Like you just are going to have to do it, figure it out. And I mean, you will figure it out once you get here, All right, last question. What's one piece of advice you'd give your younger self? If I could give one piece of advice to my younger self, I would say to just be all in from the beginning. Don't have hesitations, along the way. I know that life is hard and life is crazy, and this is such a weird and crazy life that we live and that musicians live, but just know that this is your purpose and this is what you were put on earth to do. And don't self-doubt. Do not self-doubt. Don't listen to outside voices, and just work as hard as you can and know that you will get to that point. That's what I would tell my younger self. And I think my younger self would be very proud of me. So, yeah. There is all of my trash. The grand reveal of the drum head. Looks incredible. This took me about an hour to do. I used every single sticker. I got a little scared because I didn't know if I had enough stickers, but I literally had the perfect amount of stickers. So let's do a sound test now. For both the sound tests, the batter head is the Evans EMAD 2, and we're gonna be using the Yamaha EAD as our drum mic today. Okay, sound test done. Big reveal. Do I think that the head with the stickers sounds different from the head without the stickers? My answer's gotta be a no. I've been going back and forth for 10 minutes, listening back and forth. I don't really hear a difference, y'all. I mean, I had to retune the heads when I put this one back on. I retuned it, and I tuned them exactly the same as well. I used my tune bot and I tuned the heads literally to the same frequencies. I don't really hear a difference. Maybe the head with the stickers on it has a little bit less resonance, but like Not much at all. Not much to where like it's a problem, you know? So let me know down below what you guys think. I don't know, maybe I'm way off. Let me know what y'all think. Thanks for tuning into this video. I hope you liked my little Q&A, and my Instagram is at Molly Rose Drums, TikTok at Country Drummer Girl, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.